Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and all of you gender illusionists out there in greater San Francisco Bay Area. Welcome to the Drag Show with Terry Martin, right here, and Stu Smith. And tonight we have two of the most extraordinary San Franciscans, probably by choice, but who knows where they're actually from, in the history of San Francisco. We have Rumi and Russell, and that's in alphabetical order. And I want to pan to those two right now, and show you these beautiful costumes. Whoa! Whoa! In fact, at later time, we might actually get Russell to stand up and show us his ass, you know. So welcome, and thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule with Pearls Over Shanghai to come on down and talk with us, you know. So, Rumi?
Yes?
You will be, this New Year's will be how many years with the Cockettes?
40 years, the 40th
40
anniversary.
years.
Can you imagine?
It's amazing. It's wonderful.
Uh-huh.
You know, and what was it like right at the beginning?
At the beginning, it was all the charisma of the founder of the Cockettes, the Hibiscus, George Harris. He's the one that brought us all together. He could recruit people right off the street and put them in the show. And he had a plan. He had an idea. And he was almost like... we've been referred to as the Little Rascals on acid doing Busby Berkeley.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
And each other's asses.
So, and Scrumbly was one of the originals, and he's doing the music right now. In fact, he worked with Link, I guess, Link Martin, to put this production together.
Link actually wrote the play. It was his only play. Link was an original Cockette as well. And Scrumbly wrote the music, and the Cockettes actually did, I think, 3 or 4 productions of Pearls Over Shanghai. I was in the original production the first year in November 1970, and now here I am reprising my role after 40 years. Can you imagine?
That's wonderful. Yeah. Congratulations.
And Pearls was one of the 2 shows that they took to New York City for that run there.
Yeah, at the infamous theater, Anderson Theater, off Broadway, but close.
That's right.
And, you know, it's so... That didn't work out, you know, and so you came back here, and you kind of all, well, not all, but many of you went your own ways after that.
Yeah, it didn't work out because of the aesthetics between the environment and the 2 places at the time. I realized that why it didn't work out now, in hindsight. I know Charles Ludlam from New York came out here and played the Zellerbach Auditorium in Berkeley with their dwarf little sets that they had made for Camille and Hot Ice and Bluebeard, and their sets were just more dwarfed on this big, giant auditorium. And the same thing kind of happened to the Cockettes when they were there. They also chose the wrong play of the 2 plays they were in repertoire with to open with. Instead of Pearls Over Shanghai, they opened with a play called Tinsel Tarts and a Hot Como, which was basically just a review and a big mishmash of Broadway show tunes.
That's a great point, and a lot of people forget that they didn't open with Pearls Over Broadway in New York.
That's right.
So, Russell, what about you? You got involved with this as Thrill Peddlers, or?
Yes, we a year ago now we started the Theater of the Ridiculous Revival, the genre of theater that I felt like Theater of the Grand Guignol, which is what Thrill Peddler specializes in, the famous French horror theater. That Theater of the Ridiculous was perhaps one of those theatrical genres that was at risk of becoming a footnote or a chapter in theater history. Many of these people who were making it are still around. So we worked with Charles Bush last year on his play Theodora Shebich of Byzantium, which was, I think, just his 2nd or 3rd play. And then I read Sweet Pam's book, Midnight at the Palace, and I thought, I'm going to contact these folks because there's some of them still around and in the Bay Area. And within 2 months, I had 5 Cockettes at the theater, and a couple of them even performing right off the bat. From there, Fayette Hauser and Scrumbly suggested that we take a look at Pearls Over Shanghai, and an opportunity came along when my producing partner and live partner, Jim, and I went with the Cockettes to make a big gift to the Lincoln Center Performing Arts Library of Martin Warman's archive, who was one of the lyricists for the company. And so when we were there, we made a connection that got us back to New York just 2 months later to do a condensed version of Pearls for the Howl Festival.
My God.
So we had some off-Broadway performances of that, and that was enough that I think the bug really bit us all. And so there are at least 12 or 15 folks involved in this production who did New York a year ago. And now Pearl's, there's no indication of it closing.
Well, and which I think is the greatest news that happened in San Francisco since it was started by the Cockettes. Because, honest to God, there hasn't been anything this fun, this exciting, this kind of ribald and ballsy and gutsy and thrilling. You know, it's really, truly thrilling. I mean, the costumes alone, but the music. Terry and I know a couple of the cast members personally, Nancy French and, well, actually, I think she uses another last
Hume.
Yeah, Hume.
Yeah.
And Michael Soldier.
Sure.
And, you know, that whole production was so exciting. Most of my friends now have been there at least 3 times for this run.
Wow.
And I just bought tickets again today. We've got a telephone call. Hello, caller.
Hi.
Hi.
How long does it take for you guys to put your costume and makeup on?
Costumes or cocks?
Should I tell him my story?
Yeah,
here we go. Rumi's got a story.
Rumi won't touch himself, which would come as a bit of a surprise.
I personally am horrendous at makeup, and I never do my own. I recruit someone every night to do my makeup. Michael Soldier, Precious Moments, has been doing my makeup since day one in this production.
And Melanie Paulina did us both tonight.
Yeah, Melanie Paulina did our makeup tonight, but I am just terrible at makeup. I always was. Even being a theater major in college, I got very poor scores in makeup, so I always have someone to do it myself. But it takes about an hour. It takes about an hour with anybody.
Well, Melanie, you did a great job wherever you are. You did a great job, and Precious Moments, you probably do a great job every time you do anything. You're an amazing performer.
Yeah, folks arrive at 5 o'clock for an 8 o'clock curtain. That's when people start getting there. Some choose, Katya Smirnov-Sky does hers at home. Nancy Hume does hers at home and arrive. But there are many of us who do it at the theater, and it's quite a ritual and quite a Cockettes reminiscent ritual, I would say.
So the costumes. Let's talk about these fabulous, fabulous, colorful, bright, vivid, joyous costumes.